Crypto's been big and it's had a great run. What we're going to show you is the combination of new age financial technology combined with good old-fashioned traditional finance and package them together to show you a new frontier. It's going to arm you and educate you with a couple ideas, and this is not a specific recommendation, but with that, let's go ahead and dive in. So what I'm going to show here is the historical price movement of Bitcoin. And as you take a look, many people have heard about the upside participation of Bitcoin, but we're also going to talk about the crypto winters and the pain that people had to go through if they held on. So Bitcoin started over a decade ago now, and there were multiple peaks and troughs. So the first run-up, heavy run-up, was in 2017, and it took a while to fully recover until 2020. And then we had, after COVID, another significant drawdown, and then back to close to all-time highs. So when people see this, they might see that potential upside going forward, but I also want to point out the volatility of this asset class. So what this is the max drawdown of this crypto asset class, and show you, for example, in that December 2017, one of their previous peaks, what you can see is that drawdown that occurred about a year later, it dropped around 83%. And it wasn't until about November of 2020 before it started to get back to all-time highs. And then, again, another large drawdown starting towards the end of 2021, where that drawdown was closer to 76%. So with this newer technology and asset class, there's a lot more volatility associated with it typically, and past performance doesn't necessarily mean future performance. But what I'm going to show you is combining this newer age asset class with some good old-fashioned traditional financial instruments. If you have crypto exposure and you want to maintain it, but you don't want to endure the previous drawdowns or want to mitigate that drawdown, or if you don't have any crypto exposure and you want to get in but have some protection measures around it, let me show you a hypothetical of what that might look like. So here we have a hypothetical of a structured note. And there's plenty of videos that we have on our channel about what structured notes are, but I'm just going to talk through what this concept looks like. And so in a structured note, this one you have an underlying investment asset. In this hypothetical, we may be using IBIT, which is one of the Bitcoin ETFs. Again, you can't invest directly into Bitcoin unless you're on chain. So you can try to mimic or try to replicate as closely as you can using an ETF. This one's also considered a growth note, and specifically a bullet. And what that means is you purchase it, and the only thing that matters is the purchase price and the end date. Nothing really matters what happens in between. And so 3-year term, so when you purchase this might have, for example, a 20% hard buffer, which means if Bitcoin 3 years from now is down 70%, like it has been in the past, that means the investor in this would be down 50%. Still doesn't feel great, but at least you mitigated some of that downside. For that downside protection, the trade-off is you typically have to limit your upside. And so in this hypothetical, you buy this structured note, and 3 years later, you might get some nice leveraged upside, but up to a cap. So if, for example, you purchase it 3 years later, Bitcoin is up 20%, well, this investor would be up 40% with that 2 times upside. However, if Bitcoin were to continue to go up, let's say 50%, well then, although we have that 2 times upside, we're capped at 90, so we only make that 90% gain over that 3-year period. And so this would be perfect if somebody has crypto exposure and wants to de-risk. They might be able to peel some Bitcoin back. Let's say they sell 2/3 of their position, reinvest 1/3 into this. Since you got that 2 times upside, you can have some of that same exposure, again limited to that 90% gain. But then you also have you have less invested in that crypto asset, plus you got that 20% hard buffer. And then for folks that just want to dip their toe in the water, that might be slightly more manageable risk and reward profile for them to start to gain exposure and include into their portfolio. So hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please like, subscribe, and feel free to reach out if you'd like to learn more about these. Thanks so much.